MIT just released a 26-page report proving that marketers have been working harder on AI than product development teams and strategists. Interesting times to be in. In this video, I want to show you more evidence on how this is true by showing you and sharing with you case studies, real case studies, and my examples of working from SMBs, enterprises, mid market firms, and across the border in terms of integrating AI. I'm going to give you the solutions to all the failures and the problems they are doing right now and how you can take advantage to this either for implementing AI within your own business or using AI or selling AI and implementing it on other people's businesses. That being said, let's jump into this video right now. So welcome to a new era. In this video, I'm going to show you how not to fail with AI anymore as you go into Q4 2025, 2026, and way beyond. This as a reality hit based on my practical experiences. And we're going to discuss three main things in this video. Point number one is practical experiences from working with consultants, SMEs, mid-market, enterprise, and everything around AI with those businesses. Point number two is I'm going to give you real case studies of four major patterns I've seen that led to all these businesses fail with AI, and that rate is very high right now. And point number three, if you ever wonder who will buy my AI audit, who will buy my AI training, education, or AI integration, development, whatever it is, I'm going to give you the AI positioning matrix I use to identify the exact offer for the exact person that's willing to pay for the exact psychology as well. It's all going to be in this video. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Adham Alkhaja. I've launched a couple of satellites into outer space, pursued my PhD in aerospace engineering, been doing AI way before it's cool. As you can see, here's a lot of photos of things I've done. And today I'm going to discuss with you what I'm doing and my work with Ciola integrating AI within businesses. So this was inspired by this report I read a couple of days ago saying that MIT study finds 95% of Gen AI projects are failing only hype-led transformation. And this makes sense for me because of things I've been seeing, and I'm going to expand deeply on this, on how real ground and the reality is. So to summarize this report for you, it mentioned three to four main points. The first main point is 95% of these companies are not getting an ROI on their investment. I'm going to give you case studies and how people really are not getting an ROI, even though their marketing, their PR, and everything shows we're agentic. We have agentic solutions. We have AI agents. We're replacing our humans. Everyone want to replace their employees, yes, of course, but we're not still there at this stage. And hitting them where the reality is or coming to common grounds with them is what's going to make you succeed in the AI field. Point number two is the core failure over here is that they mentioned in the report is that AI does not learn or remember. The irony of intelligence being an intelligent artificial intelligence, but it does not learn and remember. And I can tell you for a fact as well, based on my experiences, that AI can get you 80% to a solution, but once you're at the 80%, it keeps on taking you in U-turns over and over again, gets you back to 20% and keeps on going on. So yes, the last 20% is a nightmare, and that's where I think this is coming from. Point number three is partnerships succeed 2 times more than builds. So if the people are building internal tools, it's better for them to partner up with other people because this technology is moving really, really fast. And from today on, we have an 18-month window where the vendors or the next people, the next educators for certain enterprises, the providers, the hardware providers, and all these vendors will get locked based on relationships, referrals, and trust, where the cost of shifting from that in 18 months is extremely high. And then you can say we've saturated kind of, and the competition is high and so on. So this reminded me of this meme. I just decided to share it over here. Is that everyone is saying we're doing AI. This is the expectation, but the reality is none of the people have an ROI on the AI they've implemented. Let's say the majority, 95%. Now let's jump into my experience. What is my experience with all these claims over here? So we know 2024 was the year of Gen AI, and I've been to a lot of conferences. They kept on mentioning, and every single presentation was about Gen AI. You can look in my YouTube channel below. There's a couple of videos on that as well. So in 2025, when I started going to conferences at the beginning of this year, everyone was talking about AI agents. But I want to start with this AI agentic solutions that people talk about and why this is the number one reason why people are failing right now with AI and so on. So I usually refer to this matrix over here when I'm explaining about AI or showing AI to anyone or these entities as well. And the matrix basically says that there's this x-axis over here and there's y-axis over here. The x-axis shows that we have low integration, high integration, and then we have high automation and low automation. Then we can see what's low automation, low integration. These are assistants, essentially chat GPT or different LLMs such as Claude and so on. You can go on them. They're assistant. They can assist you with certain things, but they're low automation and low integration. They're not much integrated. So you can send it, tell it, write an email, copy that, paste that, and send an email within a different platform. Then you have a low integration, high automation over here, which are autopilots, which are GPT tasks, for example. You can tell it every single day, give me whatever, some scheduled task that you want. Then we have co-pilots, which entities and enterprises love because it's highly integrated within their system, their email systems, and so on. And it has low automation, but is very chunky and it has a high friction where people would prefer, let's say, to use assistants that they have personal subscriptions on using ChatGPT. And then we have agentic solutions, which gets every single human being on YouTube, on corporates, in management levels, leaders, execs, all excited because they love the fact that I'm just going to hand this over to AI and let it deal with it. Like, for example, customer support, sales tickets, and so on. And everyone decides when they come to this enterprise. And this is where I say that one of the biggest problems that I've seen with these entities and when businesses apply AI agent or AI within their business, they start with agents. And it makes sense because it's what gets them excited. And this is the promise of AI: easier, faster, and it's just you don't need to do anything and so on. But the problem here and the problem that exists is that you don't know that this works or not if it's an agent. And if you start going the agent route, it requires heavy money upfront to just build it out if you're a big enterprise, SMB, and so on. And the expectations are really high where you come in and say, okay, I want this agent to actually handle sales calls, close the deals, send me this, do this, write reports, and all that. So the expectation is extremely high from AI when you have not tried it within your entity still yet. And then you don't, you say, if there's a human in the loop, if I need to check the work of the agent, the value diminishes exponentially, because what's the point if you have an agent which is autonomous but you have a human in loop which is just checking everything out? And it's really hard to pivot at this point when you've paid a lot of money and there've been a lot of costs, you've set everything up, you've trained a team and so on, to actually go to a different kind of agentic solution, let's say, or to a co-pilot assistant or an autopilot over here. And I'm going to give you a case study because this is a very big mistake I see everyone starting from the agentic solutions, and then we're going to come to the actual results and what I think is the best way to do this. So this is, I want to give you a case study of Klarna. I don't know if you know this payment provider, but this is very popular in Europe. I think they're more popular than PayPal at this point. But the, the reason I'm showing you this case study as well is that many companies right now and people that I'm talking to, many founders I'm talking to, are in the exact similar situation, but the announcement and they're not this public about the failure that they've been having, but this is the exact situation they are in. So if you don't know, if you can search this up as well, in 2024 they mentioned something about we're gonna do or fire or get rid of 700 employees at that time, and we're going to bring a chatbot that's going to do customer service and it's going to do better than every human that we have because it's going to be 24/7 and so on. They just hyped this up so much in 2024. They said we're leading this and we're just going to add AI agents within the ecosystem that's going to help everyone out and so on. And this was also a flagship project by OpenAI where they were super proud of. You can go on their website and you can see this. It's saying that it's going to handle 2.3 million conversations over here. It's estimated to drive 40 million USD in profits. This is all like the dream coming true or the promise of AI coming true. And this is why they hope they put this on their platform. And they start getting rid of humans and saying, okay, we're going to put these AI agents. It does the work of 700 full-time agents and so on and so on. Human agents, they mean over here. So what happened in reality, a couple of months back in 2025, they said, okay, we're backing down from AI now and we're bringing humans back. So we're replacing some human workers with AI in 2024. Now it is time to go back to humans because of work issues. So they mentioned there's a lot of quality issues. People did not want to use it and so on. So essentially what they did was they started here and now they haven't given up on AI completely, but they went all the way to assistance where their CEO now has an AI of himself that people can chat to and so on. So essentially they started here, now they moved over here, and this is every single company right now. And if their CEO is very innovative, tech first and so on, and that's why they said, okay, let's use another AI solution over here. But some people in some industries I know, the management and the executive team and so on are saying, okay, we tried AI and AI did not work, and let's just not do AI and burn money, and let's just wait for and see what other people are doing. So that's essentially people starting here, burning themselves out, then either giving up if they're not that tech first in terms of the management level, or if they're tech first, okay, let's do something else now, something much simpler, and then work our way up over here. So this is the graph that I show every single entity before we start working together, telling them that, okay, amazing, you have this amazing use case that you want to implement, right? Which is AI agents that want to do X, Y, Z. But let's start with assistants first. Let's not be Klarna, where we go from agents to becoming assistants, then work our way up. So let's start with assistants. Let's maybe look at co-pilots, maybe look at autopilots and automate some things, and then go to the agents when we have proven the ROI of whatever we're building out right now. And this essentially is point number one of why people fail with AI, leading to this 95% of companies are getting zero return on AI because they're super excited about AI agents. They're going to do everything. It's going to be autonomous. It's going to be do it by itself, but end up going back over here when they don't see a true ROI. So let's move to point number two. The point number two is let's try AI first. So you heard a lot of teams or businesses or founders say, let's just try AI first and see how this goes. It's just a 50,000 or 20,000, $15,000 pilot. Let's just do this on the side. Let's put this employee, let him work on it, have fun, give him the budget, and let's see what happens. And usually, what happens here, and this also leads to another failure of AI, is that these simple projects that come as pilots, costs add up because they treat it like an IT project. And I mention this all the time. Do not treat AI as if or with the same mindset that you came in for the SaaS boom that happened in 2000 or 2010. 2010. So do not treat AI like IT. And what what shocks me as well when I go to conferences, I talk to a lot of people, and they say, "Yeah, we're doing AI. I think the IT department is handling all of that. I don't have much clue about it, but I think IT is doing something about it." The problem with this, and I'm going to show you a graph over here in terms of what the difference is, but AI, unlike IT, has running costs. Okay, IT projects have running costs, maintenance costs, and so on. But here with AI, it's like something that's living within this software over here. It's intelligence that's within that IT project that you have, which increases in costs as time goes by and usage increases. And this all affects the ROI. So the second thing I would mention here, AI is not an IT project. And this is a graph over here. So in a normal IT project, when you start an IT project, what happens is you have a bunch of developers, they build a couple of SaaS features and the product and so on. Then you have a lot of developers, they're building these features, they're building the SaaS, they're building the software and so on. Then you have maintenance costs, and it's usually straightforward. Of course, it does not look this beautiful in reality, but assume like this is just the average. If you're going to take the moving average of the full curve of what's happening, this is what's happening. But for AI project, what happens is that it goes up and down, goes up and down. So essentially, it's wobbling or oscillating on its way up in terms of cost. And this depends on the time plus usage, because some people at certain moments are like, okay, we're going to use this a lot, we're not going to use this. Just consider your usage of ChatGPT or all these LLMs as well. How often do you use it within a month? It's some days you use it a lot, some days you don't, and this is the same scenario that's happening within businesses as well with AI projects and so on. So the point I'm trying to make here is that it has recurring costs. More users equal more tokens, equal more work being done, equal more money that needs to be spent, and so on. And there should be and must be a justified recurring value that's coming, or ROI coming from this AI project to make for it to make sense. And usually this costs a big upfront cost investment as an IT project, but also requires more investments in the future. I don't know if you look at the ChatGPT, I don't have the exact figures, but when it went from one model to the next model, it cost, I think, around $1 million to $2 million, and then the next model after that, it costs like 100 times more just to go to the next model, even though it was not 100 times smarter. Meaning that this recurring cost goes up with each improvement you do within the AI project. So if you have an AI component or that intelligence built into a dumb software, which is an IT project, the running cost goes up. And this is something often people miss out very big on. And I'm going to give you a case study over here. And this is going to make it very clear. And I'm going to give you my framework of how to filter everything out. So there was this manufacturing company. This is another case study. You can search it up. It has around 800 people. And their task was, or the task at hand they had that they wanted to use AI for, they said that, okay, there's this pH strip that we have. We check the chemical pH level or the pH value of this chemical every a couple of times every single day. And there's multiple scientists that do this. So why not just use AI to do this instead of a human keep on doing this over and over again? So then they went into the math. They did the math. Okay, how much does this cost in terms of to set it up as a cost of this AI detection system? It was approximately $70,000 plus. And then how much is the maintenance cost? They weren't sure about it because this was still they were thinking about the project and saying what's the ROI and this and so on. The maintenance cost is to be decided, but plus there was a human going to be monitoring it at the very beginning because this is a critical task, so they need to make sure everything is good and the results are good and so on. And then they compared it with the manual labor cost, which costs around $60,000 if they're just doing it manually and hiring a human to do the job, meaning that there was going to be a recurring cost that's going to increase in value, that has one-time big setup cost that's much costly than the human labor just doing the job and going and taking the pH value and so on. And on top of this, that human can do other things as well. So this was not a profitable use case. And even though they thought, okay, in the second year we're going to break even if we do this, they will not break even because this is not. They would be better off essentially just having manual labor in the place. This brings me to this exact topic that I use or concept I use before starting any use case with any project for it to make sense for them. And I bring it down to full time employees, which I'm going to show you in a bit. And then I'm going to give you my positioning matrix as well. So, I have this threshold, which is the AI number. And this threshold makes sense, or the number that makes sense to different entities is different depending on what makes AI worth it for them. For example, if I tell you AI is going to make you $10,000 a year, are you interested or not? You're going to be okay. If you're a big entity making millions, you're going to be like, okay, that's okay. It's a bit, but it's net positive still, so I may go with it. But if I tell you it's going to make you $10,000 per day, you're going to be like, this is amazing. Let's do this project. So each person has a different threshold, and usually the $10,000 per month is approximately how much it costs a full time employee in a certain job that's doing AI. Let's say I'm not saying complete the different boring businesses, but something that's doing AI. That's how much it costs. So this is one employee. Let's say that's one FTE, one full time employee over here. This is maybe four full-time employees, and here it gets less and so on. So now let me tell you based on my practical experience how people react to these different numbers. So $10,000 per year, according to MIT, 95% of the projects, AI projects, failed. Big enterprises, everyone is happy with this at the moment. They're happy. They want to see a net positive. They want it just to work. They want it to be minimal. If you can make this work, it's positive, profitable, amazing. I'm happy. $10,000 per quarter, this is approximately $40,000 per year compared to this, four times this. And this is totally doable. And SMBs, like this, I'm going down up the ladder. So for SMBs, this is almost guaranteed if you pick the right use case. And there's approach to pick the right use case as well, and how to go about this. $10,000 per month, this is good and doable, but for large enterprises, it's very ambitious for SMEs unless they really are a smart team and they know this. It depends on the market as well, their niche they are in and so on. But this becomes tricky for SMEs, but it becomes very doable for large enterprises. And these two over here, I have yet to see any company making $10,000 per week and $10,000 per day just by implementing AI, because these are extremely complex projects. And I mean, I have not seen a use case of this. If you have seen it, let me know. But I have not seen any use case in terms of these two over here from the people I worked with and online as well. So the point I'm trying to make over here, the ROI is less important than the expense because this sets the ROI threshold over here. For example, if we say that you're happy with $10,000 per year, so this becomes $10,000 per year over here. And what becomes important for your profit design when you come and design a certain AI project is how much is the max expense you're going to spend, because you know there's going to be a recurring cost, and this is going to be your profit zone. And this profit zone, or the profit that you're going to be making, is going to be less each period. So we can either push this further up as the technology develops while staying in this profit zone, while maxing out our expenses over here and saying we're not going to spend more than this amount on AI and operational costs and so on, and making sure that we stay within this profit zone. So meaning that your expenses, maxing and capping that out, is more important than the ROI itself once you choose the ROI itself, which is the number over here. So this brings me to the positioning matrix over here. So before I go to sell any offer to anyone within the marketplace, I'm going to give you two more examples. But before I sell anything to anyone, I look at the market as this. So who's buying AI nowadays? You have individuals, you have solopreneurs, you have SMBs, you have mid-market firms, you have enterprise, you have governmental entities. So I usually draw a line over here somewhere in the middle saying that, okay, individual and solopreneurs have a certain psychology. SMBs are somewhere in the middle of this psychology. Mid market enterprise and governmental entities, here's the big money that can be made, and the sales cycle is different. And then I go one level deeper in terms of the positioning and say, okay, amazing. How price sensitive are each of these? How long is the sales cycle for each of these? What is their pain point currently? So if I tell you right now, the pain point is that the majority of them, these big firms over here, have paid money on AI, they have a budget, they're kind of skeptical, saying that, okay, we paid money, we got burned, it did not work out. What do we do next now with this money? But we need to be a bit like cautious about what we invest in right now because we've burned money and we have money aside, but we don't know where to put it right now. So trust is becoming extremely important. And if you think about the hype cycle, I think it's called the Gartner hype cycle or the Dunning-Kruger effect. We was at the peak of this hype cycle, and now we're going down. We're going to hit plateau, which is the valley of despair at the bottom over here, and then we're going to hit plateau, and then we're going to have that sustainable growth. And what happens during this period is that initially these firms were like, okay, let's build this AI agents, let's get an ROI, let's just type in English language, tell it, okay, do my marketing for me and so on, because AI should be simple. Okay, they realized, okay, we failed with all of this. AI is not that simple, it's not as simple that I thought. So now let's bring on an engineering method or some kind of strict method or framework or whatever it is just to make this work for us. So this is how I think in terms of positioning, because I've tested a lot of things, and this is like what works really well if you want to sell, for example, courses, if you want to sell templates, systems, if you want to sell implementation, integration, development, whatever it is. Just choose the entity that you want or who you're going after, look at their pain points, and then start building your offer around that. So this is point number two. Let's come to point number three. And this is something I hear a lot as well, a pattern that I see repeated over and over again, saying that AI has to work faster, easier, and better. And when you launch your co-pilot or assistant within your team and enterprise, and this is in particular for this side of this positioning matrix over here, because these people usually don't have any teams. But when you launch an AI and co-pilot within your team or for your employees or whatever, you expect them to keep on using them. All these users jump on it and start using it and so on. But in reality, nobody uses, only that person that's an early adopter and wants a promotion just goes ahead and says, okay, this is an amazing software that you give it. And based on AI, the promise is to make work faster, easier, and better for us, right? And that's what management levels or executives or the team leaders and founders get excited about. But employees do not get excited about this. And I hate this quote that everyone is repeating, that you will not get replaced by AI, but the person that's using AI. Everyone is repeating that quote, but there's fundamentally problems within how AI is pushed within the enterprises. And I'm going to give you a case study over here. So the problems I've seen from employees, because I have a thing when I talk with people, I talk to them about AI initially, and then tell them, okay, what why are you scared of AI? Why do you think it's going to take your job? And then I see the sentiment of that. Like today, I was at an event as well, and I was telling this person that, okay, amazing, you tell me you're scared about AI based on what you're seeing and your generation and so on, but why are you scared about AI? And he kept on telling me different kind of things, but it's going to take my job and whatever, and everyone is not thinking, and all these cool things. So in reality, I've noticed that employees are the ones that are sabotaging the success of the management who want to implement the AI strategy. So what I've seen, which is point number one over here with employees, is that management sees opportunities with AI while employees feel uncertainty and threat about their job, thinking that, okay, this is going to take my job away. Or let's see other people do it first. I want to check what other people say, then I'm going to just jump into it. Or this is complexity I don't need in my life right now because of my job is whatever. So the point I'm trying to make, everyone is important, everyone is excited about generative AI. AI is amazing, let's implement it and so on, until it affects them and they have this uncertainty, and they're like, okay, let's double think about this technology because we don't know what we're doing. That's point number one, and I'm going to tell you where this leads into. So point number two is that there's no strong benefit for them for using the AI tools the company provides to them. They'd rather use ChatGPT on their phones over here. They'd rather with their own subscriptions and talk to it and do certain things rather than use a copilot that was integrated within their Gmail that the company is tracking because it may take away their job or all of these things. So it may help the employees. So employees think of this way. If you're really being blunt over here, they're thinking of it this way. Okay, it may help me do my job better, 100%. It's going to be easier to do my job. Okay, but will this make me more money? Will this help me get a raise? Will this help me do X? No, because and this is like there's no strong benefit for them in order to use the AI tool. But on the opposite side, there's a high risk for them to use this tool because they think, what if AI learns my job? What if this person or this company is tracking my prompts or whatever they give me and it understands what exactly I'm doing and they're going to replicate it or later on. Even though we're not there, that's how they think about it, and they think about, okay, this means that there's no big impact, it does not help me, there's risks to it, and people may take my job away or whatever it is, so I don't want it, I don't want to use it. So the fundamental question employees are asking right now every single day, with all the fancy codes of AI will not replace you, the person using AI will, and so on, all those code mechanisms, is that what's in it for me? If I imply AI within my job, what's in it for me today? So this is how I look at it. So there's a cliff of today and tomorrow. And people are thinking about, okay, AI, the technology is ready or not for us to go from today to tomorrow or to that new thing or new economy of faster, easier, better way of functioning and operating within a business. The technology is ready, but the organizations, which are the humans, are not ready. And to build this bridge from today to tomorrow, the best way to do it is to make the employee the hero to pioneer this technology so they bring it to the forefront while the management stays happy. That's the best way I've seen happen. So let me give you a case study of which, by the way, all these case studies are real case studies. So a customer service phone company. So the objective of this customer service phone company was to replace humans with AI agents, and who does not want to do it nowadays? So I want you to keep in mind that I'm going to give you two examples, which are the same, or let's say different. They're the same business but different companies over here, and let's call them company A and company B. So their workflow basically is they get a call every single day, they answer the client, and sometimes they don't have the answer at the top of their head. They search the database, they check the keywords or whatever their client is mentioning, they see something on their screen, and then they answer this person. So what company A did, which failed miserably, is that they had the objective similar to company B of let's replace humans with AI agents. So what they did is they said, okay, let's go to the startup. That says there's an amazing startup over here that they're doing voice agents and they're a voice agent company. Let's train the voice agent or documents that we have, and let's then evaluate it and see if it's doing a good job. And then let's start replacing the humans within here with voice agents so we be productive. It becomes easier and so on and so on. So what this resulted into, because of that validation layer that they had, it was a disaster, and they stopped the voice agent. They did not go on with this project because the support agents, which are the human agents, were validating whether this voice agent is good or not. And they kept on saying, no, I wouldn't answer like that. This is the voice agent. This voice agent is super bad. Does not know how to answer, even though we gave it the document. This is hallucinating. This has no clue about our business and so on. We're going to lose customers. So they completely abandon the project over here. And this is just an example of the problems the employees they have over here and not being the hero that I just showed you in this figure over here. So what company B did, which is the exact same objective, exact same workflow over here, and they highly succeeded with it. They said, okay, let's build a multi-step roadmap over here, with the first step being not to replace, but to augment the human agents we have to respond faster over here and enhance their search process so they can do a better job themselves. That's what's in it for them. And of course these of course employees, and you need to keep in mind they read things, they are not dumb, they understand things, they're humans, they think, they know that AI is coming in the future. But with this multi-step approach, they're going to understand one thing, is that AI will come, it's augmenting me right now, but it's not replacing me today, but it may replace me in the future, and I understand that. So this is the psychology they're going in it with here. And the employees loved it. The human AI augmentation was amazing, and now they've set further production and improvement for the voice agent that they have. So these are two case studies of the same exact workflow, exact objective, but different, let's say, outcomes. So that's point number three. And point number four, don't take this lightly. It's a very important point over here, is that what people are doing or big companies are doing, or like now, even and the smaller entities, SMBs and so on, they're planning every single step before they take an action. And I love to put this aside of the quote of Mike Tyson saying that everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. So this works, yes. This is pure 2005, 2010 mindset of let's build a business. And if you have a metrics, if you have like a fully data driven, quantitative kind of metrics about the business, this is the way you go forward, because you set a plan. You have this fancy consultant come in, give you a presentation. This is the strategy for the next 3 years. Just implement it for your business and it works. But the problem is that this does not work on AI. And if you understand artificial intelligence as a technology, it's based on probability. It's based on predictions. If you go back into machine learning, deep learning, and the neural networks, it's all probability in this case. And it makes sense if we're going to go ahead with AI and implement it within an entity, we take a probabilistic approach rather than a plan. This is a plan we're going to follow for the next 3 years. Because to be honest, you don't know what you're planning for. Like, if you're truly, truly honest, as a consultant, AI consultant, or anyone who's doing AI or implementing AI or an AI expert, you really have no clue what you're planning for. You don't know what's going to happen. And I like this analogy of a farmer, which is a farmer goes into a piece of land, plants a couple of seeds, some come out, some die. He nurtures, he keeps on nurturing what seeds are or what plants are keep on coming up. Then he understands the weather, understands the situation we are in, the soil, the environment, the sun, and so on, and start taking good care of everything and starting enhancing and so on. So this is a better approach because you don't know what plants or what seeds will become plants or trees. You don't know how they will come out, either curved or straight. You have no idea what's going to happen. So you just go with this probabilistic approach. We have this direction, we have this objective, and let's just go towards that objective. And we're going to take good care of it, of the things that happen. And this is how we should approach AI. And I've seen people who set plans, let's say those who set KPIs or goals for the year based on a very extensive 200 plus presentation slides presentation of the AI strategy, often miss the point of that KPI or that objective because they were too stringent on the plan, and AI is probabilistic by nature and they did not know what they're planning for. So let's go into case study over here, case study number 4, which is an airline company of approximately 2,000 people. And this company was a very cost effective company, and they had one goal. They said, let's grow this company even more, but let's not increase the cost because we're well known for being cost effective. And what they wanted was a 3 year AI strategy, as they had their own 3 year business strategy. So they thought, okay, we have a 3 year business strategy. We brought consultants in. They gave us that. Let's do one similar to that for AI. So they had two approaches to take. Approach A would have been, they would have said that, okay, let's plan the use cases for the next 3 years. What are we going to do with using AI within the flight or this aerospace company that we have? And let's make a presentation for the board, make management happy. They're super excited about agentic AI and all these nice use cases. And let's agree and move on the plan. And that would have resulted into a plan that would have not worked because of the probabilistic nature, and they have many moving parts. But approach B, which is the approach they took, is that they said that, okay, instead of committing to individual use cases for the next 3 years, such as they had this very high interest in adding AI in flight dispatching, let's just set a high level goal. Let's set a goal. We're going to go towards that goal, and let's just see what happens and adjust course as we go with the flexibility that we have. So they set this goal, which is let's double the flights without doubling the desk. And of course there's a lot of things that went under this, but this is very like the line that they use for this. And the AI initiatives would have focused on a lot of admin work. They would commit to business domains and not use cases in particular, because that would have kept them strict within certain domains or tech domains that they could have gone out of, and they have may have lost money, and they couldn't have the flexibility to do so. And with this approach, they had enough flexibility to execute and move around when needed, when everything happen. So, a couple of thoughts here. MIT just proved that 95% of these companies have failed in their AI projects. And I just gave you the practical reasons that I've been seeing on ground, talking to founders, executives, management teams, and all these big enterprises implementing AI within their businesses. So, what does this mean for people like you and me? If you're integrating AI within your own businesses, this is a window where you can prove to everyone and pioneer the way within your market and show them this technology works and this is the way to make it work. That puts you as a market leader by itself. And if you're integrating AI into other people's businesses, know that they have been burned at this point. They have tried certain things, they have a budget for it, but they're very skeptical because this didn't work out for them the way they wanted to. So any ROI for them works. So what I tell everyone going forward is that before making companies AI first or yourself AI first, an AI first company, make yourself or the individual an AI first person.